That's number 2060902. If you guys want to get a hold of us, you can call us at 760-669-7813. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Raymond Aquino.
Yes, and Raymond and I have became friends over the last few years, and I'll do a quick introduction on him. Man, he is a every day you would call it a 9 to 5er, but really working up to 14 plus hours a day with his normal W-2 job. He is a business owner, self-employed with an amazing wife named Alma, and a business partner for a restaurant you've probably been at, Springhouse Restaurant, up here in the high desert in Hesperia off of Main Street. He also, and how we became friends, he has built up, I believe, up to 14 units.
Wow.
And manages his own properties. And we talked about from the beginning of this show, like, how do regular people do it, man? We always hear amazing people on this station who are already up there. We talk about Robert
Kiyosaki, Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, we talk about
Hello,
Robert
everyone.
Yeah, and that's Raymond. So without further ado, Raymond, this is Raymond Aquino. We consider each other teammates. I'm his mortgage professional on his team. He is actually my real estate investor professional. I go to him when it comes to properties and wanting to do something in my personal life. So without further ado, this is Raymond Aquino, and I think the question everybody has is how did you do it?
Wow. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate the introduction. That was awesome. It's all about getting up early every morning and making it happen. Everyone has excuses, right? So I already put that out there. I'm tired. I was up late. You know what? If you want that worm, like they say, the early bird gets that worm. So that's what has worked for my wife and I every single day. We get up, we go to work, we do our thing, and we make things happen, okay? And we educate ourselves every single day as we're doing it. As a matter of fact, I started a real estate class last night from 6 to 8 p.m. and I'm going to get my real estate license at this point. I'm studying, and first class was last night,
So you're making the move to get your real estate license.
Making the move, baby. Making the move. Nice. And thank you, guys.
Well, when you're up to that level, that's usually what happens is you start getting more educated, and you get to certain levels where, getting those licenses, those specialty licenses really are very easy and a no-brainer. So you could take it to certain next levels that hopefully we can get it, but we want to kind of back up a little bit. And, I have, man, we have a lot in common. We've both been through divorces early in our lives. We're both the same age, by the way.
Yes, so amazing.
We're basically, we're allowed to say our age, 45. I don't know, we're new on the radio and posting stuff, but, how long have you been with your current company? How did you get to where you're at now?
Okay. So I've been with the company. It's a food distribution center that I work for, coming on 19 years now.
Wow.
And yes, this company, no matter how hard it is, we have to get up early in the morning, 14, 16 hours a day. I'm a truck driver, and knowing how to manage your money, which I didn't know until maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago when I met my wife. But knowing how to budget your money and where to place it every single check is really what's helped us get ahead and scale to where to the level that we're at now.
Yeah, having an amazing. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so I have a question for you, Raymond, real quick. So what would you recommend to first-time home buyers, people who maybe are just getting started with buying units or buying investments? What would you say to them to kind of help them out to, like, hey, this is what you should be looking for. This, this is kind of the direction you should be going. What's your advice to those people who are maybe starting out?
That is an awesome question, Bobby. So what has helped me when I started was finding my niche, finding my path, cause real estate has a very diverse field, right? I mean, there's so many parts to real estate. So you
endless parts.
Yes. And you guys are on the mortgage side. I'm on the investor side at this point.
Yes.
So really, it's all about finding your niche, finding out what you're passionate about, and educating yourself. I can't stress that enough. Okay, educating yourself on what you want to invest in, what direction you want to go in when it comes to real estate, and not only that, is start building that network, guys. And I'm sure you guys have heard your network is your net worth, right? So, but yeah, go ahead.
So networking and finding a passion to where you could do every day, like for you example, you do the trucking 17 hours every day on top of investing and managing your own properties, which is amazing.
Yes, yes.
So when someone does eventually get to the point where they're like, okay, I did the research, I got the education, and now they're ready to go and actually purchase the property, what would you recommend for them to look for? How do you know it's gonna be a good rental?
Well, I use a formula. Every single house that I come across that gets put in front of me, I use a formula, and it's very simple, very simple. Depending on the cost of the house, you know what, I'd like to do a deal deep dive maybe in the next show because it takes a little bit to explain
Yeah.
breaking down the numbers, but maybe we can do that. But there's certain formulas that you can learn on YouTube. YouTube is an amazing tool that has helped me educate myself and apply that knowledge in real life. And in all the transactions that you and I have done, Robert, it's amazing. You know how much I've learned over the years.
Absolutely. And the formula is what hopefully we're gonna get up to. Let's start from, okay, we know the standard story. You know, we all started off working, whatever happens. The house you had before you met your wife, you both came in owning a house. Because I think step one is having the house you live in and owning it. One house leads to another. And that's what we talked about from the first shows. Let's go over the basics. We talked about Robert Kiyosaki.
Yes.
And other people on this show that that are great financial advisors, but it's always that, all right, we're at levels and we got the team, we already have it, and we already have certain funds, we already have all this built up. Well, man, it's great to talk about what you're doing now and what do you look in and prop for a good rental. The question becomes is, let's start with going back to you're at 19 years with your W-2 job, we call it here, where you actually clock in and work for somebody, to owning a business, a very successful, well-known restaurant, to 14 units. It doesn't happen overnight. We talk about right now in the market we're in a buyer's market, you have the ability to, and what you're doing and what we're going to get into, to buy properties outright. Then how do you teaching people how to replenish that? So really, all right, you're working hardcore. I think we talk about, Bobby and I, we're going to get into the three main qualifying factors and how to get that first house, whether you're a first-time home buyer or not, but to that first property you have, and that's in Atlanta?
In Atlanta, yes. On 2014, coming off a bankruptcy and divorce, so after 4 years, I was able to get my credit score up and able to qualify for another property in 2014. So
2014, you stayed on the grind, and your gut instinct said, I'm on the grind. I need to buy a pad. I think Bobby could relate to that,
Yep,
and I myself as well.
The same thing.
I own a house, but it's all about let's get the next one, and you're my inspiration. You're an inspiration.
thank you, sir. Thank you.
So you got that first house, and then everything's going. You're working hard, and then you meet Alma.
Yes. Okay. So the company that I work for, it's a delivery distribution center, and I was delivering to this restaurant called Springhouse Family Restaurant in Hesperia. And lo and behold, I walk in with the first stack. I'm going to be dropping it off in the dry storage area. And I see this beautiful woman, gorgeous, smiling at me, asking me if I wanted a cup of coffee. And my response, Robert, of course. Please. Yes, please,
All the
please.
cups.
And so over time, delivering to this restaurant once a week, I've developed a relationship with Alma at this point, who is my wife now. And c'est la vie. we got married and everything is bright and dandy, right? No, of course, we have to work hard for what we want and to get to that next level. So we end up dating and we got married. Just to make a long story short, Robert, the opportunity to buy this restaurant fell upon us. The previous owner was selling it, and he talked to both of us, my wife and I. Do you guys want to buy the restaurant? I'm selling it. And we were both terrified, scared, right? That fear of not knowing, it's what stops everyone from trying and acting.
Especially in the food business, mind you. That is even scarier.
Oh.
You're taking on something that, what is this statistic? Like, most restaurants don't even make it past their first year, let alone the first 5 if you're like established.
Yeah. Yes.
And I know what I know. That's why I keep going to the restaurant, is because it's clean and delicious. So.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
But
Way clean.
So you guys how'd you get past the fear? You guys just.
Okay, so we had the money saved up. Okay. Yeah, we had the money saved up. And one of the other waitresses kind of overheard our conversation and jumped in and asked or said, I would like to buy the restaurant as well. So
Oh, wow.
at that point, we became partners. So we bought it as a corporation, and it's a 50-50, of course. And
Teamwork.
yes, so this actually
There's the team thing.
absolutely it eased my wife's mind, because she was terrified. She's like, how am I going to do this on my own? You have your W-2 job, you can't really help me here. So both our partner and my wife, they figured it out, and they're going strong at this point. And thank God, because I'm not able to be there full time because of my job and the rentals at this point, and working on other businesses at this point as well. But go ahead.
That's the power couple. That's where your wife comes into play.
Yes.
So before that, we both know, because you mentioned something about divorce and bankruptcy. That's kind of my low as well, and coming back from that. How did you do that? Was it just?
Well, Robert, it was a very painful divorce.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just get a little closer. So you
Okay.
scoot away and you drop out a little bit.
Oh, okay. So
sorry
yeah,
about
just
that.
tell us what happened.
So this divorce that I went through, very difficult. It almost ended my life. That's how heartbroken I was, how heartache broken I was. But thank God that I didn't pull that trigger, and I'm here now building what I'm trying to build for my family and for my grandchildren, and leave a legacy. And this is my drive, my motivation every single day to get up, is to build this business so that my heirs can take advantage and be well off, and not have to live in a 2-bedroom apartment with 13 people like I did when I grew up.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, yeah, I have a question. It's kind of off topic, but and you came from, again, a 2-bedroom apartment with 13 people. So most people, kind of what I hear and what I see, especially being in the industry, is once people get that first property or that first asset, whether it be a 4-unit or a single-family primary, they don't know what to do after that. So coming from the investor side, what would you coach someone up after they get either their first single-family residence or their first multifamily residence?
So you want to get into the thick of it.
Yes.
Well, I'm in this boat right now. I'm trying to get a house and qualify and do all the work to, get something. So picking Raymond's brain is kind of how I'm gonna, guide my way too. So I'm asking the questions for the people who are ready to make a move, or trying to make a move, and what kind of does that entail?
Well, I think we went over it. Let's recap. So Raymond's been working at the same company for 19 years. We talk about the 3 qualifying factors. After a bankruptcy and a hard divorce, he kept working hard, stacking, and he bought a place to live in. At the same time, he met an amazing woman that connected, who also had a house that she lived in and purchased. So the question is how does we talk about one house leads to another?
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into, okay, you guys, you met your wife, and you both, let's get back. You both connected, and what happened? Because you both came into this working hard and owning the first house. How did we take it to the next level? So you guys met and said, all right, we love each other, we're getting married. What happened then?
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Okay, so when we first met, I had just purchased that house in Adelanto in 2014.
2014.
She had bought the property, her house, her primary home at the time, in 2011 for 57,000, and invested 10,000 to fix it up. So total in is 67,000, mind you, and I'll bring this up later. That number will be significant later. So can you imagine a three bedroom, two bath house for 67,000? That's unheard of these days, correct?
Yeah, completely unheard of.
Yes.
And I do know a lot about the financial side on paper, and she came into this. This is where hard work and dedication. It just comes down to that, being on the grind. She came into the marriage with that house being paid off.
Yes. So she has been a waitress all her life, and I do believe a good man always has a great woman behind him, right? And my woman is a great woman. So she did come into this relationship with a fully paid off home, which we did not refinance until later. So this actually helped us with the next property later.
Yes, that one came into play later. So let's do a shout out.
Real quick, guys, if anybody listening wants to reach out to us, you give us a call at 760-669-7813. Again, that's 760-669-7813. You can also visit our YouTube at Mortgage Talk. And I think Mr. Aquino also has a YouTube channel.
Yes, I just created this channel this year. The content that I put out is basically trying to influence and motivate people and educating themselves in that certain niche, whether it be building a business, investing in rentals, buying a restaurant, whatever it might be. It starts with your mindset and discipline to get to that next level. So my YouTube channel is Investing in Rentals. I found my passion.
Nice. So, okay, let's get back into your situation. You guys met, got married. She had a paid off house she lived in. You had your house that you lived in, and you guys, it was only make sense. We're coming together. We're both hardworking. We're getting a bigger and better pad to live in because families are uniting and the power couples coming into play, and that's the house you're living in now.
Yes, absolutely. But before we bought that house, we had purchased the restaurant, the business.
Oh yeah, let's get
Yes.
back. So you purchased the restaurant. So we had to take a break. So you guys purchased the restaurant with your amazing partner that you guys have who wanted to do it with
Yes,
you guys.
absolutely.
And what happened?
We were able to find the certain systems available to us in different ways. Like my company that delivers the food, they have certain systems we can implement with our business because we provide the food, right? So in order for us to get going and get going good, they provide these certain systems that we can use. And aside from being scared and all that fear, we got over it really quick. But let me tell you guys, the first 2 years of buying this restaurant was probably the hardest 2 years of my life because working 14, 16 hours at my job, and after that going to the restaurant, trying to fix an ice machine, trying to fix problems that we inherited because the place is dated, of course, but nevertheless, we did it. We did it.
Overcame,
Yes.
Day by day.
Every day, every single day, we got up, we did our thing, and we did it the best we can, and with the most energy we can to keep going, baby. That's it.
Being in the moment, one day leads to the next. So you guys are everybody's making it work because the restaurant has an amazing reputation. You guys need to buy a pad, the one you're in now. What happened?
Yes.
How did that happen?
So
And you wanted to turn your current homes into rentals because we're long-term investors. We knew that about each other. We're trying to hold on. we're not letting go. So you were like, we're going to turn these houses into rentals.
The funny thing is, Robert, I had a conversation with my wife, and I told her, you know what, if we bought one more house, we can rent out the 2 houses that we live in now. And at that point, we can live off the rentals on those 2 homes, my pension, and Social Security whenever those become available at whatever age I'm at, right? And she still tells me to this day about that conversation we had.
Nice.
From that point to the point we're at now, and she always asks me, what happened with the 3 houses? You didn't stop.
Right. Nice. So you guys, that's kind of where I came in, is you guys got the house you're living in now.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, the rentals are working out. We want to do this again. I think you said, I want to, what?
Absolutely. So I got to give a shout out to a mutual friend of ours called, his name is Ivan Moreno, and he's a local real estate agent who was cleaning the carpets with his father at the restaurant and asked me, just out of the blue, Ray, if you're ever interested in buying a house, here's my card. Took it from him, and just so happens that I was thinking about purchasing our 4th home at that time, and that's when I met you, Robert, my lender, ever since 2019 when we bought that 4th property.
Yep. And that's when, wow, that's when it was, we had to really, bring expectations into reality and really come to terms on really I think one of the questions I asked you is, is this the only rental you want to buy? How far do you want to take this? Because we had to restructure everything. So he had already had a house ready to buy in escrow. And once we looked at everything, and we talk about structuring debt, and one of our episodes is simple interest.
Love it. Saw it yesterday. Sorry.
Yeah. So we, no, that's exactly what happened is I had to show him, like, look, one of the only ways I can qualify you is if we redo everything on the current, not the paid off house that your wife came into play with, but the current 2 houses, the one in Adelanto, the one you had originally, and the main house, and restructure everything to save you roughly $1,000 a month, while at the same time you had your first deal. How did that first? So we knew working as a team, and let me tell you, at that time, there was a lot of fears because when you're doing 3 to 4 transactions at once, some people don't even realize you can do that. And at the same time, and you look at certain cost, and we're long-term investing and structuring for the rainy day with the lowest rate. Choosing the right rate, because he knows about the anti-steering law and how really the burden on choosing the right rate is the buyer or borrower. So that was really how I had to do a side-by-side breakdown, itemize everything out, what you owe monthly, what you manage per month in minimum payments, and show you the simplified version, because when you save $1,000 a month, your debt ratio now could handle a lot more. So we were able to just repeat, because his normal putting the time in on his W-2 job, he didn't need any rental income to qualify.
Absolutely, I agree. So when we were restructuring those loans, Robert, you remember how scared I was and how frustrated I was because I had to come up with the paperwork on each property. Not only that, we were also trying to get a HELOC out of the primary home. A HELOC is a home equity line of credit. And this is a tool that investors use to buy investment properties, to buy rental properties. And I've learned how to use this HELOC in a way to where we can use it, refinance out of that property, and then replenish the HELOC and cash flow that property that we bought with it and repeat it. It's essentially we call it the BRRRR strategy. It's an acronym, and it's what it's called. It's you buy, you rehab, you rent it out, you refinance, and then you repeat that. You repeat that process. So you're using but you have to find the property at such a good price, and like the investors, us investors say, you always make the money on the buy.
That's where you've built up. How did you build up
Yes.
to the level that we hear about, like with being able to purchase that deal that's only a cash offer because you met the person, and only somebody with the right amount of cash can buy that house, and then have the funds to rehab it and add a unit legally, you know, all the right way, and get what we're going to get into, which is rate on return. What is that? What you call it? Your
Return on investment.
return
the
on investment.
ROI.
So we're coming up to 3 minutes left. So let's get into this. We're going to have him back, because I'm telling you, just when we get deep into this, so we literally, his first rental. Let's get back to the basics, and we're going to end off with you. You both came to the table, but give us that investment, or what was that?
Return on investment,
Return on investment.
ROI. Really quick, 2019 was that property that we purchased and we worked together with. I didn't even know the formulas yet at that time, very inexperienced, and I thought, we have a little bit of extra money that I'd like to probably try to purchase another property, not knowing what the return on investment was, not knowing the formulas. And this property, Robert, that we purchased, that you helped me purchase that time and refinance and do all that, all those loans at the same time, that's what helped educate me and started my education process, because that light bulb turned on and I was hungry for knowledge. And
Yeah, I'm looking at that extra $1,000 real money,
Oh.
net cash flow, and you're looking at
Yes.
what these loan amounts are covering on paper. So we had to really So we're getting close to the end of this. Let's
Yes.
do our shout outs again, because Raymond, we do want you back. We're going
Okay.
to have you back next week if you can.
oh yeah, I appreciate.
Or visit our YouTube channel at Mortgage Talk. And Mr. Raymond Aquino, he does also have a YouTube channel.
Investing in rentals, I found my passion. Just opened it up today. My content consists of motivating and influencing people in educating themselves to start up a business, invest in rentals, and so forth. Thank you.
Hey, we got way more, guys. He's got way more, from building ADUs to other rentals.
Yes.
So tune in next week. So, thank you.
You got time to do a little bit of a wrap up.
Oh,
Okay.
You got about 30 seconds to a minute here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and again, you can reach us at 760-669-7813 if you have any questions. That's with Robert Bulmer, NMLS number 322918, and myself, Bobby Bulmer, NMLS number 2060902. Again, you can reach us on YouTube at Mortgage Talk, or you can visit Mr. Aquino's YouTube channel as well.
Bye-bye.